Right, I'm gonna look weird like hovering about, but this has weird angles. See what I mean? It kinda exists as a form on the page. Obviously it doesn't really have an object name, so you kinda just trace the whiteness and blackness. And the hands are kinda cool. So they always kind of look in perspective. They always look like they're going into the page. And I'll explain that. It's because they're rotating like this. So to you it always looks like hands can always be like that, coming down a hole. And you've got them from the top up. And the reason it's not perfect, it does squidge in size, you see, so you can tell that it's 2D when you get to certain. There's a point that you can sort of, if it's like perpendicular, it's not attached to a body, so I can actually keep spinning it. Normal hands couldn't spin like that if it was attaching to a body or spinning with the body. But you'd see the same thing. This is the fish hook. So I was looking at this wee magnet part they use in fishing. It's called the Sky Fish Hook Belt Waist Gate. It's a bootstrap type thing. It's got Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer as a protagonist here. In one frame, he's looking in through an infinity and lighting a cone up on the other side. He's got two antennas for eyes. One of them's like a fishing rod that's dangling his bait in front of him, and he's not got any real eyes, so he doesn't really know what it is, but yeah. So this is a play on the, what do you call a deer with no eyes? A no idea. And then you say, what do you call a deer with no legs? Still no idea, because it can't ambulate. And then there's this other joke called, what do you call a fish with no eyes? Psh! And that one is a sound. It's just like a psh. What? It's not like a deer with no legs. It's something that struck me. It's a breaking of it's a perturbation of the logic, but it's still funny. So in some sense, it's still ironic. It's just lost its object form. And so I put the two together, and you've got this ugly little thing that I made. There's a picture on Facebook. I'll try and get it somewhere. And so you've got fishing, and you've got a deer with no eyes, like the thing in the abyss that's got the little lantern thing that lights itself up, which is one of those things Eric talks about that is like it's a type of phenotype, an extended version from like in which, like, say certain sea creatures, even like mussels or something like that, will expend energy into a dummy or into a make-believe, like a self-similar type thing to attract prey. And what's inside this little thing is actually tons of little seeds that get inside the gills of whatever's trying to eat it. So it's actually beneficial in some sense for it to expend all this energy into something that looks and behaves like something else. But it's actually a manifestation of the same manifold that just comes down to a small string, like on a fishing wire, bulbs up again, and contains the seeds of the next generation of this thing. It got me thinking about sort of like species and stuff like that, and how one might bleed into the other due to form fit. Like in cardinal hypothesis, you've got the cardinal ambulation underneath the set of the other ambulations across the interval line. I'll try and put up the picture as well, but it's the under part that fits between like this, like a comb. Like if you had two transistors, they fit like this, the two sets. And it's kind of like those teeth are like the things that are dangling between the two that are actually just energy spent on mimicking this subspace between the two and trying to attract or bait the other one into sort of swallowing and being used as a substrate for the other to inhabit, whilst they both coexist in this space. Otherwise they can't really couple to each other. And there's probably there's many forces passing through these environments all at once on different levels, so it's kind of like an evolution of the fittest. And it seems like every form has found its place, and it's really about changing the shapes and structures of what Eric would call the observerse, I think, for new like resonant spaces within. Because I'm kind of like, what happens if you turn one of them? You need something to put it into, otherwise it's going to bleed heavy. There was always that worry about like black holes like sort of swallowing everything. So it's a bit. I'm just glad I'm not like a high energy experimentalist. Okay, right, bye.